Welcome to today's Eternal format video. This is Eternal Monday for the 27th of November, and instead of having a gameplay video like you would normally see, today is going to be a ban list update for the format. This ban list update goes into effect immediately following this video. All prints of the following cards are affected by today's changes to the ban list, so do keep that in mind as we go through the video. First, we have the cards that have been removed from the ban list. There are two of these. Honchkrow GX is no longer banned in the Eternal format. Now that Duskstone and the Murkrow with Duskstone built in have been removed from the format, Honchkrow can successfully coexist in the format without causing too much of an issue, and as such it is removed from the ban list. Additionally, we have Lusamine also removed from the ban list. Lusamine is a supporter card from Crimson Invasion that allows you to loop some cards in your hand, both Stadium cards and supporter cards. Stadium cards don't have a whole lot of recovery in any format, but Lusamine is returning to this one, so if you need a supporter-based recovery or a Stadium recovery, she's your gal. And Lusamine is unbanned primarily because the cards that contributed to her ban in the first place are also now out of the format. I'll keep an eye on the format, of course, and if things change, Lusamine can, of course, end up back on the ban list, but for now, Lusamine is a-okay. Now for the cards that have been added to the ban list. We have up first Cyrus Prism Star. I think people were kind of expecting this one, especially anyone that participated in the November 2023 Eternal Format Tournament. Cyrus Prism Star played a role in an extremely oppressive deck, and even though I will be hitting other cards that are tied into this archetype, I think Cyrus Prism Star poses a big enough threat to the format and to the format's health that the card itself needs to go regardless. So Cyrus Prism Star is banned as of this update. Cyrus Prism Star basically allows you to nuke your opponent's board, and then in conjunction with other cards in the format, further nuke their board and then just knock out their active and win, or remove their active from play and win, as the case may be. So basically, Cyrus Prism Star just is a little too, it jives a little too well with other cards in the format, and rather than try to hit all of its tools, we're just going to hit Cyrus itself and one of its partners to try to alleviate the issue. Up next is Blaine's Gamble. Blaine's Gamble is getting hit for the same reason that Gambler was hit a long while back. It's an item card. That's the biggest problem with it, and it allows you to draw quite a few cards very easily. If you have a fairly decent sized hand, let's say you have 6 cards in hand, you discard 5 of those cards, you draw 10 cards. If you flip heads, and if you don't, you can use something like Claydol and then just draw 6. Ultimately, Blaine's Gamble is less of a gamble and more of a super turbo where the format is not welcoming of that, especially in item form. This card is being added to the ban list, not because it has caused a problem, but because it was an oversight in a previous ban list update and should have been banned alongside Gambler itself. Up next, we have what are sure to be some controversial bans here. In fact, I think all the remaining bans in this format ban list will be controversial, but they're proving to be issues. Medicham V was banned in a previous ban list update, and now Dialga GX joins Medicham V in that ban. Unfortunately, in the Eternal format, it's just way too easy to pull off Timeless GX and effects like it, where you can take multiple turns on your opponent. And because of situations like this, you can ultimately abuse your opponent in ways that should not be possible based on the way the game is designed. And you can set up situations where your opponent just can't win and can't retaliate in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunate, because these cards are very cool. I would have liked to have kept them in the format, but for the health of the format, it's best that they leave. Dialga GX, both the Dragon type version from Ultra Prism and the Metal type version from Forbidden Light, are now banned in the Eternal format, and as you can probably assume, the next card on the ban list joins them also for the same reason. Origin form Dialga V-Star from Astral Radiance is now also banned in the Eternal format. That removes 4 of the extra turn Pokemon from the format simply because they're too strong. They're too strong in this format, and yeah, there's not enough counterplay with them in the format. They're very, very easy to set up. Something like Magnezone from Ultra Prism or some of the special energies that exist in the format can make setting these up trivial, and because of how the format works with support, stuff like Bronzong can mean that you're just chaining them, and that's not really okay. We want to make sure that even if there is, even if there's effects in the format, item lock, ability lock, hand lock, mill, all those things, we want those to exist, but we do also want there to be counterplay. We want it to exist, and unfortunately, because of how easy these effects are to get off, there just isn't a way to counterplay, and so to be safe, all such effects now like this are banned. And then finally, this is a long time coming. This card has caused issues already, and bans have gone into effect to try to alleviate the issues that this card has caused. The cards that have been hit in its wake will stay banned for now, although they are being reevaluated just to see if they can be unbanned safely. The card I'm talking about, of course, is the Nexus for the most creative archetype in the format, and is one I really did not want to have to hit, but it is unfortunately one that has had to be hit to try to save the format. Mew Prime as it's commonly referred to, from Triumphant, has been hit in the the latest Eternal format ban lists. Lost Link is just way too strong. There is no recourse for trying to get cards out of the Lost Zone, so you can't try to take attacks away from you. There's no real counter, and then because it can copy any attack in the Lost Zone, you're able to basically build a toolbox of anything. And because this is again kind of tied to the issues with Dialga, is you have so many ways to accelerate so many various types of energy to Mew that it doesn't really matter what the attack cost is. You will get there, and you'll get there fairly easily. And unfortunately, that means that Mew has become fairly oppressive. Cards that were designed to stop it in the Eternal format and in Unlimited in general, and even in formats near it, have proved ineffective to take it out, to even slow it down. Cards like Cessation Crystal and Space Center just proved literally useless against it, and that's not great. The only alternative to banning Mew would have been to unban Lost World, which causes a huge host of problems on its own, so that's also not a viable ban. And unfortunately, because there is no safe way to keep Mew in the format, Mew has had to go. Very unfortunate. Really would have liked to keep it in the format, but say goodbye to Mew. There will be a video that features Mew going up on my channel in a few weeks here. It was one of the catalysts to helping accelerate this ban. Mew has been on what I call the red list for about 6 months now. The red list, for those who are not familiar, is basically a list of cards that are being kept a very close eye on, cards that are suspects, if you will, in causing issues in the format. Most of the time, cards stay on there and they'll fall off, but if they've proven themselves to be issues, or with combinations of other cards that very likely could become a big problem, then they end up getting hit. Mew has finally been hit, so it is now banned in the Eternal format. So these bans do go into effect immediately, so they'll be in effect as of 2:30 p.m. US Central Time on the 27th of November. With that said, I know these bans are a little upsetting. I'm sure there's going to be some comments like, no, this card didn't need to be banned. You could have done this instead. I get it. It's very unfortunate in many cases. Like I said, I'd like to keep most of these in the format, but it's just not doable. However, you can join us on Friday in the Justin Basil Discord for the Eternal format tournament online. That'll be done through untapped.in. So if you want to join us there, you can. Additionally, if you are in the San Antonio area on December 9th, you can join us for the in-person Eternal format tournament at Dragon's Lair at Alamo Ranch here in San Antonio, Texas. So that is it for today's Eternal format video. Bit of a oddball today, but we'll go back to gameplay videos next week. That said, I will see you all in the next video.